Wu Sun, the old man who has not been cured of the disease, signed up for the professional bullfighting competition. He has been fighting for a lifetime just to win $1 million. Zhao was once the world champion of bullfighting. At that time, his wife would not be absent in every game, but now his wife is dead. He is also older than Wu Sun and no longer as good as Niu Bei. Although his legend is still circulating in the world, he has long retired and lived an ordinary life. Now his greatest pleasure is to practice bullfighting with his grandson. But with his previous experience, his daughter did not agree with her son to participate in the bullfighting competition and become a professional player. The rule of the bullfighting competition is that the calf should stay on the back of the crazy male bull for 8 seconds. In these 8 seconds, they must raise a finger and raise a hand to show the style of the calf. This makes them easy to fall off the back of the bull. And the crazy male bull will subconsciously attack those who have fallen off their backs. A wild bull's collision or stomping has the power of 10,000 soldiers. This makes them easy to get hurt or die in the game. Basically, all professional games have to die before they start. To this day, this kind of competition is still in the western part of the United States. And even if the calves are not pushed to the bottom, it is easy to get hurt just by jumping down from the crazy bull's back. Zhao was seriously injured before he retired. That time, he almost stepped into the crazy bull's gate with 1 foot. Although he was successfully rescued in the end, his leg became incurable from then on. Despite this, Zhao's grandson still thinks his grandfather is the best. As long as his grandfather participates in the competition, the champion must be holding a gun in his hand. If you entered that, you'd whoop their asses. Zhao accepted the praise of his grandson, but he didn't expect such a smart and energetic child to have a sudden level. At first they thought it was not serious, but after being sent to the big hospital for a CT scan, the doctor told them a bad news. "Doctor, he has a glioma. He has a brain tumor. This kind of tumor requires surgery, but their medical insurance can only cover 40% of the medical expenses." Zhao asked if he could let his grandson use his medical expenses. After all, he is a retired veteran. The nurse shook her head. She said it didn't meet the hospital's regulations. They had to pay at least $75,000, at most $150,000 for surgery. The surgery may not be successful, but if they don't do it, his grandson can only wait to die. Zhao's wife had to go through this kind of brain tumor. That time, Zhao had taken care of all their family members for his wife's treatment. After his wife died of illness, he was still in a daze. He even had a hangover. Now, his grandson is sick again. Even if they sell their property, they can't afford such an expensive medical expense. But Zhao agreed, pay for it. Are you sure? Like I said, we can pay for it. When he came home, he immediately contacted his old friend, his former partner, Charlie, the black bullfighter. Charlie found out that he came from the south. "Listen, Zhao, you are a good friend, but I don't have much of any money at all." Zhao let him relax. He didn't come to borrow money from him. He just wanted Charlie to go out with his partner. He went to the competition again to win prizes. Recently, there was a legendary bullfighting competition. All the champions of this competition sent invitations. They were invited to come back to the arena. These champions can compete with the best bullfighters in the world. The first champion can get $750,000. The second champion can get $300,000. After Charlie heard about his arrival, he was very happy. "I sure needed it. Ain't no way on God's green earth you riding in the PBO." Charlie's reaction didn't look down on Zhao. Zhao did have a glorious past. But the problem is that he's old now, and he's still missing a leg. Even his back is still hurting because of his old injury. His eyes are also not good. The so-called hero is not allowed to see the white head. It's probably true. Time won't let anyone go. Those wonderful competitions and high prizes belong to young people. Their time has long passed. The bullfighting competition is not a normal competition. If you lose, you lose. At the most, you get the voice of the audience. It's easy to die in this kind of competition. But Zhao said he was mentally prepared. No matter what, he has to save his grandson. He couldn't convince him. He had to agree to go to the competition site with him. The organizer sent Zhao an invitation, but Zhao didn't think about going to the competition. He also knew that he was too old to go to the competition, so he threw the invitation into the trash can. Now he needs to go to the competition. There's no way. He can only go to see the organizer in person. Fortunately, the organizer owes him a big favor. This time, it's time to use old friendship. Before going to see the organizer, Zhao was still worried about his grandson, so he came to the hospital with Charlie. He told his daughter that he was going to the competition to win the prize. His daughter didn't have to worry about the medical expenses. Unexpectedly,
His daughter was furious when she heard this, because Zhao once fell off the back of a bull. Zhao fell badly that time. His daughter took care of him. His daughter saw his miserable state. She knew that her father's words were definitely more fierce. "I'm simple. You will not get on that bull." Zhao naturally didn't listen to his daughter's advice. He still took his old friend to the competition site. "Joey, Rainwright, Charlie Williams, I must be dreaming right now." Jimmy wanted to continue with Zhao, but Zhao told Jimmy directly that he wanted to participate in the competition. Jimmy wanted to use a set of candy colors. He said it was too late now. The competition was about to start. They even printed the promotional sheet. But Zhao insisted. He even mentioned that he owed himself a favor. "You want to get on a bull and ride. I never thought you'd say yes and show up." Zhao is proud. He has never asked for anyone. At this time, he has already made it clear. Jimmy even pushed back. He even said he was old. He couldn't stand this humiliation. He could only leave. Charlie stayed and persuaded Jimmy a few times. "Do the right thing, Jimmy.
Give Chow a ride." He even said that he must participate in the competition for Chow this time. Even if he stands on the competition site, it is possible that they will be buried together. He was willing to go with Chow to bury him in the dirt. Jimmy thought Charlie was so interesting. He pushed back 3 or 4 times. It was not interesting enough. After all, he has been an old friend for many years. He still helped Chow. The next day, Chow successfully participated in the competition. Good luck! But when he entered the changing room, all the other contestants were young men in their early 20s. They were shocked when they saw Chow. "You are a legend. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got into bull riding." But this ain't the senior circuit. The winner of the competition, the proportion of seed players was out of kindness. He even advised Chow not to participate in the competition. Otherwise, he was likely to die on the stage. Chow knew he was kind, but he didn't want to let these young people look down on him. He advised them and showed an unconceivable attitude. Then he took off his top and revealed his strong upper body. He opened a bottle of beer and mocked that the one holding the proportion was strawberry milk. He was a little kid who didn't break the milk. The two sides were at odds with each other. The news that Chow was going to participate in the competition aroused public interest among the audience. He used to be a legend. His legend is still circulated in the world today. However, the legend is old after all. Everyone guesses that he can really win this competition. Or will he die on the stage? Is the legend old or the legend? The progress after the competition was like fire and soil. But half of the people were thrown off the stage for various reasons. They didn't last more than 8 seconds. In addition, some people were injured in the competition and couldn't continue to participate. All the competitors who came to the competition this time were professional bullfighters. None of them could last more than 8 seconds. He also got a good score. The proportion not only lasted more than 8 seconds, but also got an 87.5 high score. He has the second best score among all the competitors. Chow drew an order before the competition began. He received a call from his daughter. His daughter told him that his grandson's operation was successful, but this time the doctors failed to remove all the tumor. They still need to have the next operation, and the next operation must be treated by a better doctor. The natural $70,000 medical fee has to be doubled. Chow learned this news. The heart is loose and tight. The competition has begun. He's about to go on stage. He can't be distracted at this time. Chow had to suppress all the emotions in his heart and focus on the competition. In Chow's time, everyone wore a cowboy hat instead of a steel helmet, but now everyone wears a steel helmet as protection. Although Chow is not used to it, he still wears a steel helmet according to the requirements. Ride the bull to the stage. At first, the bull gave him a downhill. He jumped crazily, but he couldn't get Chow off his body. Everyone was watching him at this moment. Even Jimmy, who was watching the live broadcast in the backstage, was sweating for him. Chow finally held on for 8 seconds. Chow jumped down happily, but accidentally hit the railing. At this time, Chow's score came out. He got 85 points. This is not the highest score in the whole show. Compared to his glorious past, this score is a bit disappointing now. Charlie, who fell down, was taken back to the backstage to receive medical treatment. His old arms and legs are no better than that of a young man. And Charlie's condition is not getting any better. Although he has never suffered such serious injuries like Chow, he has diabetes. The doctor saw that they both had back pain, but they laughed at each other. Chow asked the doctor to put a tape on his leg. He had to go out of the changing room. The young Billy came over to mock Chow. He didn't want to break his ass, so he quickly withdrew from the game. This kid's mouth is real. It seems that he must have lived to Chow's age.
Chow was not used to this kind of mouth. He said directly, "I think you are afraid I'm in a hurry to let me withdraw." Jimmy heard that he was injured and wanted to come over to persuade him to give up. "Wait, Chow, you can't possibly—" "I'm not quitting, Jimmy." Chow insisted that he would continue. Jimmy couldn't persuade him. He could only praise the people around him. This is a legendary figure. Everyone couldn't help but applaud for Chow's persistence. Chow was seriously injured. He was badly injured. They went to a nearby bar this evening, after relaxing a little bit. Charlie saw that Chow was still worrying about his daughter and grandson. Chow admitted that. He didn't talk all day because he was worried about his daughter and grandson. He wanted to know their situation and wanted to see his grandson. But Sai Cheng was too busy. Charlie comforted Chow without worrying. His daughter has been stubborn since she was a child. She fell from the horseback more than once when she was a child. But she didn't cry every time. She got up right away. She went to school. Other girls bullied Chow's daughter. Chow's daughter would never hold back. She would fight back with her fist. So this time, Chow's daughter wouldn't be defeated. But Charlie reminded Chow his daughter was too sensible. She never wanted to let Chow down. But this time, Chow's daughter seemed to feel that Chow let him down. He better be patient with his daughter. After all, his daughter loves him very much. Chow was comforted by Charlie's psychological guidance. He felt much better. He was in a good mood when he returned to the arena, but his game was not going well this time. When he started the game, the cow hit the railing with him. So Shan Mi was crushed. He was hit by the railing. Chow couldn't hold the cow. He was thrown off the horseback by the cow. He was in a terrible pain. In this case, according to the rules, he could play the game again. Everyone was asking him if he was okay, whether he could hold on, and whether he could play the game again. Chow kept saying he was fine. He was fine. He insisted on playing the game again. The doctor wanted to do a CT scan on him to see if there was anything wrong with his ribs, but Chow refused. He just wanted to go back to the arena.
After all, it was the second game. If he was eliminated at this time, he couldn't get anything. His grandson's surgery money was also gone. In order to win the game, he had to risk his life. In the second game, Cow refused to wear a helmet. He wanted to take his usual cowboy hat to take his own adventure. And the cow that Cow drew was the most difficult among all the cows in the arena. But the madness of the cow was directly linked to the score. If he could control the famous crazy cow, he would definitely get a super high score. The risk is always accompanied by the opportunity. At first, the cow showed his madness. He kept jumping from place to place and tried to shake off the people on his body. Cow always grabbed him and didn't let go. He held on for 8 seconds. 8 seconds later, he jumped off the cow's back and didn't even get hurt. This score made him the #1 in the ranking. Cow made it to the finals. This was beyond the expectations of all the audience. It seems that the old legend is still a legend. After the game, Cow and his friends came to the small tavern to celebrate. At this time, he received a call from his grandson. His grandson successfully got off the operating table and regained consciousness. He watched Cow's game live through the tavern. Cow won the first place, which made his grandson very proud. But his daughter didn't want his grandson to talk to Cow for too long, so she grabbed his phone and told Cow that the effect was fading. His grandson was in great pain. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, his grandson had another operation. The risk of this operation was very high. His daughter went out on purpose and told her father that if the operation failed, her grandson would be at risk of paralysis. Her daughter, who was always strong, was very proud of this. Cow was also very sad. He hung up the phone. He was in a bad mood. When he returned to his seat, he found that his position was taken by Billy. He asked Billy to step aside. Billy actually got up and pushed him. It seems that Billy is very upset because Cow took the first place. He was upset and provoked him here. Cow was already holding his breath. He was provoked like this, he couldn't help but shake his hand. Although Billy is young, he is not his opponent at all. The two of them fought hard and directly lured the police. Jimmy was also notified to clean up the mess. Jimmy was also very angry when he saw this situation. After all, before the game started, he had already told Cow in a loud voice that Cow could not drink this time, could not make trouble, and could not fight with others. Cow promised to be good at that time, but he didn't expect to change his bad habit at all. This time, Cow drank and made trouble again, and even hit the star player who was most likely to win the championship. He said no fighting among other things, and what do you do? In this case, once the police and the opponent want to pursue, Cow may be sentenced to death and will be locked in the orange. He can't participate in the game anymore. Cow only felt regretful about this. He repeatedly told Jimmy that he had to participate in the game. Jimmy couldn't communicate with him. Cow was angry and turned around.
Charlie saw that the situation was wrong and hurried over to help Cow. He told Jimmy that his grandson had a terminal illness. Cow came to participate in the game for this. He must win the championship. Not glory, not the news. The boy is being operated on. Jimmy heard this. He felt that he was not a human being for a moment. Normal people would be compassionate in this case, but how to give Cow a post-mortem is still a painful thing. But for the sake of the old friendship in the past, this time he could only help Cow wipe his ass. And under the situation, Cow even had the nerve to ask Jimmy to borrow his private plane and use it by himself. He wanted to go back and see his great-grandson. After all, his grandson will have surgery at 10 a.m. tomorrow. This time the operation may fail, and he will never be able to talk to his grandson again. Jimmy also had a hard mouth and a soft heart. He said it was troublesome. He immediately called his private plane driver. He told him to send Cow back as soon as possible. And Charlie went with Cow. The two of them suddenly saw the news on the plane. Jimmy disclosed the reason why Cow participated in the game to the media. Now there are relevant reports everywhere. Everyone was moved by Cow's sympathy. Jimmy also helped him open a donation link. Cow was always proud, unwilling to beg for help. In this case, he felt very embarrassed. He blamed Charlie for not telling others. But Charlie comforted him. If you die on the field, if you have 3 long and 2 short and can't get a bonus, at least this money can save your grandson. Cow had to accept this arrangement for the sake of his grandson. He showed his old face. It was past 10 o'clock. Cow arrived at the hospital and could not see his grandson. He only saw his very fragile daughter. He comforted his daughter immediately. You can get through this. Everything will work out. Cow hugged his daughter and gave her the comfort she needed most now. His daughter burst into laughter and let go of Cow's participation in the game. Wish him victory. Before the final began, Billy also learned the reason why Cow participated in the game. He apologized to Cow for this. He shouldn't have done that last night. He sympathized with Cow emotionally, but it was a different story when it came to the game. At the beginning of the game, Billy scored a 90. Joe Wainwright needs 91 points to take first place away from him. Cow was not afraid of losing. He jumped on the craziest bull. After the game began, the bull struggled crazily. However, Cow may have been blessed by God and really managed to hold on for 8 seconds. But he jumped off the bull's back and was seriously injured. He couldn't get up for a moment. Everyone thought he would end his life. But Cow raised his hand with all his strength. He said he was still alive. Thank God you're all right. Although the fall was not light, he was still able to hold on. He successfully walked off the field and won the first place in the game. He won a prize of $750,000 and a donation from the public. He paid for his grandson's medical expenses and even saved money. Cow donated all the remaining donations to the children's hospital. After a while, his grandson recovered very well. He didn't have symptoms such as paralysis or rheumatism. He could even exercise normally. He looked like a normal child. His daughter finally let go of her worries after this incident and hugged her father again. Thank you.